If you've got a fear of being in a conversation and it dying and just being sat there awkwardly in silence, then this is a video for you. In this video, I go through how to stop a conversation from dying from the book, The Fine Art of Small Talk. If you haven't watched the first video on how to start a conversation and keep it going, then I would advise you to watch that first, then come back here for the next part of the information. I'll put that video top right. Alright, getting straight into it again, raw information, I'll be reading it direct. Give them something to talk about. You've smiled, made eye contact, found the approachable person, offered your name and used theirs. What's left, you ask? Plenty. Have no fear, this is where it really gets fun. If you're introverted, you will love this part because you stay on the quiet side. Your mission is to get your conversation partner talking about themselves. Most people enjoy the opportunity to share their stories, and if you give them the chance, they'll start talking. This is a no-brainer route to small talking success. And then a quick tip I didn't learn in the book, but I heard from somewhere else, is that if your conversation partner stops talking, don't butt in and instantly try and get your point. Give like 3 seconds, and usually they'll talk more. Now a little subheading, it's all in the asking. By asking open-ended questions, you offer your conversation partner the opportunity to disclose as much or as little as she wants. These questions demand more than a simple yes or no answer, yet they make no stressful demands. Your partner will decide how much she feels comfortable saying. Such questions are effective with co-workers, kids, neighbours, in-laws, industry colleagues, friends, and when first making the acquaintance of a stranger. The key to successfully using open-ended questions is choosing the right question and then following up with another if it's needed. Open-ended questions. Describe for me. Tell me about. How did you? What was that like for you? What brought you to? Why? So this is where a lot of the time you can just end conversations through your own doing. Also, if the other person don't really want to speak, it makes it even easier for them to not speak if you don't ask open-ended questions and instead you ask closed-end questions. So if you say, how are you? Well, they're going to say, good. How are you back, probably, and then you say, good. And then that's the conversation over. Whenever you begin a dialogue with a question, get ready to dig deeper so that the other person knows you are interested in hearing more. Digging in deeper indicates you truly desire a response and are prepared to invest time in hearing the response. Here are some suggestions. How was your summer? Excellent. What special things did you do? How were your holidays? Pretty good. How did you celebrate? How was your weekend? Good. What did you do? I went to see that new play down at the Civic Centre. Really? You're interested in ... I never knew that. Tell me more about that. Did you do anything relaxing? Is that something you usually do on the weekend? How's the project? Good. What have you been working on most recently? Now, this is a little bit on how to rephrase questions. Are you married? Instead, try, tell me about your family. What do you do for a living? Instead, tell me about your business/work. Do you have kids? Instead, tell me about your family. What's your favourite hobby? Instead, tell me about your favourite hobby. How was your weekend? Instead, what was the best part of your weekend? Or, what went on for you this weekend? Now this is from the next chapter, hearing aids and listening devices. Listening is seen, not just heard. So this is a bit of a story on how other people can feel like you're not listening depending on how you react to what they're saying. The physiological process of listening is invisible to the observer. We cannot watch the sound vibrations go into someone's ears to confirm that they received the intended message. Consequently, the speaker is always on the lookout for cues to validate receipt of the message. Visual cues which offer the easiest form of feedback. Let the speaker know you are paying attention. Facial expressions, head nods, and positive body language are clear ways of expressing interest in your conversation partner's words. 8-year-old Nicholas came home from school, bounded into the house, and started telling his dad about his great day at school. Dad, Nick said, I had a great day at school. We had art class today, and I painted a cool picture of the mountains. We played soccer during gym and I scored a goal. And guess what they served? Pizza for lunch. Nicholas looks at his dad scrolling on his device and sighs. Dad, you're not listening to me. His dad looks up and says, Yes I am, son. You painted a picture of the mountains, you scored a goal in the soccer game, and you had pizza for lunch. Nicholas, unappeased, replies, No, Dad, that's not it. You're not listening to me with your eyes. Even though Nick's dad clearly heard his son, Nick felt minimised because he did not have his dad's full attention. He wanted more than a download of facts about his day to his dad. He wanted to see his dad's response. He wanted to feel connected. He wanted his dad to be invested in the story. He wanted validation while he was telling his story. Listening is more than just hearing. It's a level of involvement that goes beyond reciting the contents of the conversation. And then something just below this that I highlighted because I thought it was important. Ray Birdswhistle, a pioneer in non-verbal communication, estimated that in a normal two-person conversation, verbal components carry less than 35% of the social meaning of the situation, while non-verbal components account for over 65%. It's critical to maintain eye contact when you are listening to another person. Now here are 10 tips for tip-top listening. Learn to want to listen. You must have the desire, interest, concentration and self-discipline to be a good listener. Give verbal and visual cues that you are listening. Anticipate excellence. We get good information more often when we expect it. Become a whole-body listener. Listen with your ears, your eyes and your heart. Take notes. They aid retention. Listen now. Report later. Plan to tell someone what you heard and you'll remember it better. Build rapport by pacing the speaker. Approximate the speaker's gestures, facial expressions and voice patterns to create comfortable communication. So people might not understand that, but if you go into a conversation they're like quite low energy, go in and speak the same as them. Don't go in shouting and being high energy because it's like two opposites, it don't work right. Control internal and external distractions. Generously give the gift of listening. Be present. Beware the tendency to daydream or multitask. Don't drift off from conversations. Now some things from the next chapter. Prevent pregnant pauses with preparation. So here is history lessons. Frequently you find yourself in an awkward silence or a pregnant pause in the conversation. It is up to you to either invigorate the conversation or allow it to slowly grind to a halt. Do your part to charge up the conversation by being prepared with questions on the origin and history of those people you are with. For instance, you can inquire, what got you interested in this area? When did you first know you wanted to be a ... What brought you to Colorado? How do you all know each other? What got you interested in marketing? What gave you the idea for this business? What happened first? Now, interviewing questions. Not actually for interviews, but as in conversations it's very much like an interview in some ways, apart from you both meant to interview each other. What do you enjoy most about this season of the year? What got you involved in this organisation/event? If you weren't here, what would you be doing at this very moment? If you could meet any one person, whom would you choose? Tell me about an issue that matters a great deal to you. What has been your most important work experience? How is your day going? What is your greatest challenge as a parent? What do you like about virtual dating? What is the weather like where you are? Interviewing questions again. What word would you say describes you best? Do you have a personal motto or creed? Do you have any heroes that you greatly admire? What did people in high school think you were like? What's on your bucket list? If you could go back to your teenage self, what would your advice be? What two things can you not live without? What are you most proud of? What is the number one ingredient to your success? What is your secret sauce? What do you do that you wish you could stop doing? And the last little subheading, speak no evil. Barring exceptional circumstances, avoid these often controversial topics that can stop a conversation in its tracks. Stories of questionable taste, gossip, personal misfortunes, particularly current ones, how much things cost, controversial subjects when you don't know where people stand, Health, yours or theirs. The exception is when you're talking with a person who has an obvious new cast, crutches or bandage. In that situation, the apparent temporary medical apparatus is free information. If you skirt the issue, it's a bit like having an elephant in your living room and ignoring it. Thank you for watching if you got this far. Please like if you got something out of this. Subscribe for upcoming videos on all self-improvement, from health and wealth to philosophy and psychology. If the next video is out on this book, then the playlist will be on screen now and the video will be in there. If not, then the other video on screen is something you will like. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.